Right, let's speak to Gary Mond, chairman of the National Jewish Assembly, about this story where NHS staff have been reported for wearing Free Palestine badges while treating Jewish patients. I mean, Gary, I don't think that any NHS staff should be wearing any sort of political signs or symbols, whether it's rainbow lanyards or Free Palestine, but this is especially offensive.
Yes, not just the NHS, in schools, in employment centres, in other public services. Any form of political advertising should be banned. And this is particularly offensive in hospitals with Jewish patients because they know what that symbol really means. It is a Jew-hating symbol. It's not the flag of another country. It's not like wearing a French or a Spanish or an American flag. This is a flag for a country that doesn't exist. It is essentially a flag that means we hate Jews. And don't forget the history. That flag was created in 1964 by Yasser Arafat from the PLO, 3 years before the Six-Day War, 3 years before there were any territories that Israel took control of, like Gaza, Judea and Samaria. And that means to say that they just want to destroy Israel. Simple as that. That is what that flag means, and is particularly offensive to anybody who's Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for free speech and right to protest, although I think the pro-Palestine marches should have been stopped a long time ago because they're connections to terrorist entities. But when it comes to working in a public-facing institution, whether you're a clerk in a bank, not that bank branches exist anymore, whether you're working in a local council, but especially if you're treating people at their most vulnerable, when they go for medical care, I don't think there should be anything that might create a dividing line between the caregiver and patient. I mean, I would imagine in this day and age, walking around being Jewish is becoming pretty harrowing.
I'm afraid you're right. And of course, there are many, many people who don't crave any form of public recognition or any form of appearing on television who are experiencing this. You're hearing of a few examples. There are many, many more. And many Jewish people are very scared, hurt and offended, and in some cases even feeling terrorised, but they say nothing. They don't go off to the press, they don't go to the police, they don't go to anyone. They just accept it. And that is a terrible state of affairs.
Like, you know, Stevie's messaged me saying my council, Renfrewshire, took it upon themselves to remove the Ukrainian flag from our town hall, which had been there since the start of the war, and have replaced it with a Palestine flag. To me, this is inciting hate. Where was the Israel flag when innocent people were butchered by terrorists? I mean, again, wasn't long ago I was coming back from Stansted Airport, coming through the sort of outer suburbs of London, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Flagpoles publicly paid for, you know, lampposts, covered in Palestine flags. So that must have been done with the consent or at the behest of the council. It wasn't even like driving through somewhere in England. It was absolutely astonishing.
I'm afraid we have absolutely no initiative, either from this government or from the previous Conservative government, to try to stop this, to try to stop any form of advertising on behalf of a political campaign by local councils. That has to stop, but I'm frightened that this is not going to stop, particularly under the government we've got at the moment.
No, I think you're right. Gary Mond, thank you ever so much. Chairman of the National Jewish Assembly. Thoughts from you, Myron?
Well, I just remember Jess Phillips when she wrote that article where she basically said it had a wink-wink, nudge-nudge with a consultant, I believe, who gave her special treatment and fast-tracked her because he knew
how she'd voted
for Palestine. And the optics of this is not good for the NHS and the healthcare system in general, that they are seen to be, whether they are or not is something else, what they're seen to be is pro-Palestine, therefore potentially anti-Semitic. And look, I'm a dentist, right? So when a patient comes to me, they are surrendering themselves, mouth open, under my jurisdiction, effectively, for that appointment. They are surrendering to me. I have so much power. And if they feel that I'm politically against them and have heightened emotion against them, perhaps even racially against them, it's a horrific situation for a patient to be in. And so it's imperative that we depoliticize the whole NHS and all these institutions. It's because people are vulnerable, like you're saying.
Right, exactly. Do you know, I just watched Little Shop of Horrors the other night.
Yeah.
With the mad dentist with his laughing gas and his drill. Oh, anyway, that just popped into my mind. It's a bit different in my practice. Yeah, NHS dentist, Myron is. Right, we're going to take a short break now, but don't go anywhere.